Well, we welcome back the fantastic Taufig Khalil for this Bundesliga action this week. We will start with the first game, which is Dortmund against Heidenheim. Now, many people will look at Dortmund, Taufig, and say this should be a simple win. But Heidenheim were one of the surprises of the season last year and have done pretty well in Champions League qualifying.
Well, this is a team which made it to the Bundesliga first time last year. Very small city. I was there when Bayern played there and lost in their little stadium. It was a big surprise last year. It's a village with, I don't know, 15, 20,000 people, the smallest village in the Bundesliga. You drive there, a lot of green grass, a lot of cows, a beautiful castle. The stadium is called the Castle Stadium, right. Or the stadium on the Castle Hill. That's how it's called. And it's 12, 15,000 people. And this team made it into the Conference League. They will play against Chelsea in the Conference League, and this team now is on top of the board in the Bundesliga. 2 games, they won both. Unbelievable. Their coach, Frank Schmidt, is, for me, it's the best coach I've ever met in my life. Wow. I think he's from Heidenheim. He stayed all his life there. He's totally, it's unbelievable. When you see him, you like him. It's just the way how he addresses the people. He can be rude sometimes, but he knows how to talk to his players. And really, everybody really admires him.
Yeah, and the way they've started the season, not just obviously in conference, I said Champions League, sorry, I meant Conference League qualify. The way they've started, I mean, they absolutely battered Augsburg as well, didn't they? They were phenomenal in that game.
Well, unbelievable. And then everybody thought Augsburg might have a chance to win there. Augsburg's still struggling a lot in the Bundesliga, but Heidenheim just made their job. Last year, they lost to Augsburg 5-2 in their own stadium. Now they really thrashed Augsburg. I'm surprised. Let's see how it works for Heidenheim this season when the stress of the European football settles in, when they have to fly. Is the squad big enough? Do they have enough players to substitute others when they get injured, when they are tired? How is it to play on Wednesday or Thursday against Chelsea and then 3 days later against Mainz? How does that settle in your head? But now the season is young. They are on top of the board, and it's not Borussia Dortmund, but it's a home game for Dortmund, and Dortmund is the big favorite. No question about that.
Would you be happy back in Dortmund? Do you think Dortmund will win this game then?
Well, I think if it all goes normal, but what is normal in football? Yeah. if it all goes normal, and that's the beauty of the game. That's why we love it so much. Dortmund should win, but Heidenheim has self-confidence. They have an idea. They showed that they are not afraid of big names and big stadiums. Now it's their second year. They are used to this huge crowds. It's not that they just come up. It's not that, we are the small Heidenheim. We have to be afraid when we play in Dortmund. No, it's different. It's that they are the team on the top. And I think that should be in your heart when you get out on the pitch on Friday night.
Last year's team on the top of Bayern Leverkusen, but obviously that phenomenal league run came to an end against Leipzig. I don't think if you're Xabi Alonso, you're too worried, are you, long-term about that? It was just always going to happen. It might actually help to relieve some pressure for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. And it might help a lot to refocus, to get a lot of things back in your head, which might be gone a little. It was that feeling that, hey, come on, we can do what we want. We are down by 1 at the 89th minute, and we'll win that game anyway, as it happened in the first match. And a lot of people say they had a lot of help by the referees. But now this time, this thing is over. Now they know that they are pretty human and that they can lose as well as other teams. And I think it might help the Bundesliga a little bit, and it might help. And it might help Xabi Alonso to get easier in the mind, in the head of his players.
Do you think they bounce back at the Pre-Zero against Hoffenheim?
I think Hoffenheim still struggling, still have a lot of problems. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that Leverkusen is the clear favorite, but it all depends. Some players came out of the international break. Hoffenheim didn't have so many players in the international break, so. If if all goes normal, once again, the same with the Dortmund and
If all goes normal.
Yeah, and in the next match we will talk about, I'm pretty sure I will say the same thing. But if all goes normal, Leverkusen should be the clear favorite against Hoffenheim.
And they are, 1.52 at the moment. Was the next game by any chance the Leipzig game, as they, of course, host Union Berlin?
No. I had another one in mind.
Oh, you had another one in mind. Well, we'll talk Leipzig first, then we'll get to your game. Obviously, we're not going to care about the friendly against Mönchengladbach, but I mean, look, Leipzig have been so good. They beat Leverkusen, as we know. They were relatively comfy winners, I suppose, against Bochum in their opening game. Union will be delighted with the start they've had after a rough sort of 18 months.
Yeah, I think for Union, it's pretty important now to get back to what they had 1.5 years ago. The last season was out of the normal. As I very often said, it's what happens when these teams who overperform in a season and then play in the Champions League. That's what might happen to Heidenheim as well, or to Stuttgart. And then Union did that. Suddenly they played matches which were so far away from their mind, and they had to play against Real Madrid and all these things. And last season they really struggled. It was too much pressure, too much distraction from the Bundesliga. Too much things happened. They did a lot of things with players getting into which didn't fit into the squad. Now I think they're pretty much back to what is Union Berlin style, and I'm pretty sure that they will give a lot of that they will fight very tough against Leipzig. But Leipzig, as you said, they beat Leverkusen. In their mind, they are this team which could do the impossible. And for them, well, pretty much they will know what they're able to do. But Union Berlin, for me, could be another surprising team of this season.
Yeah, a tricky game, this one, I think, to go too strongly on Leipzig. I think they'll likely win, but I don't want to jump too strongly onto that. Was the game you were discussing or thinking about then Holstein Kiel against Bayern Munich, is my next question.
Definitely. And once again, if it all goes normal, there cannot be another winner of that match than Bayern Munich. But to be honest, we had that match in January 21. Bayern just won the triple or the quadruple or the sextuple. They won all. They went there in January. It was snowing. I was there. I can't recall that game. And it was a cup third round, I think, or something like that. German Cup. And Holstein Kiel was, they were so far away. No one gave a penny on Holstein Kiel. And guess who made it to the next round? It was not Bayern Munich. So this is something I'm pretty sure that the coach of Holstein Kiel will show that video to his players because that shows what's possible in football. That the impossible is possible, and this is what happened once. Why it should not happen a second time? Well, Kiel had a bad start. Bayern had a good start. Company made a good start into the season. Holstein Kiel lost the first two matches. If you ask people who will be the first team which will be relegated this season, I would say 9.9 out of 10 would call Holstein Kiel for the first team. It is, I just wrote it, 943 million euros Bayern Munich against 32 million euros Holstein Kiel. What's the worth of the team? It is, you can buy 4 squads of Holstein Kiel for 1 Jamal Musiala. I'm not even talking about Harry Kane. So that shows how big this difference is. But come on, it's this matches. It's a small stadium. It's next to the shore, to the water, to the Kieler Förde. It might be chilly. It might be not one of these matches you really want to play as a player from a big club when you have the Champions League in mind. The first Champions League match will come on Tuesday. It's all these things which suddenly might Holstein Kiel a little bit. Or I'm really, if it all goes normal, once again,
of course.
It's all on Bayern Munich. But well, we have seen it.
Yeah, we have. I mean, 1.25 Bayern to win that game. Bayern have obviously scored 5 goals so far. Holstein Kiel have conceded 5 goals so far. I suppose, like you said, it's off the back of the international break where Bayern will have players coming back from that on top of the Champions League to come. So if you're Holstein Kiel, this is probably quite a good time to play Bayern if there is such a thing.
It is a good time, well, but they are under pressure. They
Yeah.
need a point now, which is very important. And the thing is that I just heard an interview with one of the players who played Vita Arp. He played for Bayern
Yeah.
Munich some years ago.
He was in the
And
second team, wasn't he? He was Bayern Munich's second team, yeah.
yeah, second team. Well, and when he came to Bayern Munich paid a lot of money to Hamburg for him, and he should be the next big thing. He was supposed to be the superstar, the next coming up, but it never worked out. Now he's playing in Kiel, but well, this player just said it is that we need to get the first point. We need it now to play against Bayern Munich, which makes it more hard for us. But on the other way, this is a match we had in mind that we can lose that. Now they need a point. Maybe that helps. Maybe it makes the legs heavier. I don't know. It's really interesting to see that match. Well, but a good thing for Bayern Munich and for Bayern Munich fans, Harry Kane seems to be back on track now. For me, I had that fear that he comes with this post-European Championship depression, that another title lost in his mind, but now scored twice in the last match for England. Seems like he scored in the Bundesliga, and he's very important because Bayern Munich doesn't have another central striker. So it's all on Harry Kane. He needs to stay healthy. He needs a lot of self-confidence. And he needs to be in a very, very good mind.
Yeah. Well, Holstein Kiel travel to Bochum after that, and that might be slightly more realistic, perhaps, for Marcel Rapp in terms of a first league point or win of the season. Taufig, thank you very much, as always, my friend. We will speak to you ahead of the next round of fixtures, but there's a really interesting few games ahead in Germany. If all goes as it should do, as Taufig says, there should be a number of very simple wins. But again, as he says, it doesn't always work that way.